Jai Hind all, this is Assistant Professor Gagandeep Singh from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. This is a lecture on analog signal processing. This is a fourth lecture on the series, and today we are going to discuss the active filter design parameters. Generally there are two parameters that we will discuss, that are Q and omega naught. Using these two filter parameters we can design the filters. So previously we have looked what is analog signal processing. We have discussed why we need analog signal processing, what are analog signals, why we need processing those signals. Then we have discussed the transfer functions, what are the transfer functions. Then we have discussed the bilinear transfer functions, a special type of transfer function where we have two linear equations that are used to form V out by B in, that is a transfer function Ts. Then after this bilinear transform function we have designed some active filters using these bilinear transform functions. In the last lecture we have used some active realization of the filters. So for again let's suppose the same circuit for non-inverting op-amps we are using. Let's suppose for this one we are using non-inverting, so we are giving a negative feedback through, let's suppose, some impedance. The impedance are Z1 and Z2, and this configuration is a non-inverting configuration whose transfer function, or you can say the gain E is given by V out by V in. The transfer function Ts is given by V out, that is V2, divided by V in, that is V1. So for this case, for the previous case we have discussed when we have special case of As tends to infinite, then we have a general form of bilinear transfer functions, which is the equation of two lines S plus Z1 by S1 S plus P1, the two bilinear functions, which is a general form of the transfer function, bilinear transfer function. So these are the two equations that will be used to find out the Z1 and Z2. So we have previously, when we have the gain of op-amp is infinite. Now take a special case when non-ideal case, means the practical case when this As is not equal to 0, the gain of op-amp is not infinite. So when it is not infinite value, the V2 by V1 that is given by this equation, if it is a bilinear equation, then the equation that can be given by the previous equation will be this one, 1 plus 1 upon As plus 1 upon K on Z1, where we have put the value of Z1 by Z2 as this equation. And after solving this one we will get this thing. We have divided the 1 by Zs to the whole, and these all are the after solving this equation. So at the low frequency this operational amplifier gain can be given by omega t by omega t by S, which can be taken by a op-amp's model as a single pole model. We can assume that at infinite 0s or infinite frequency omega t, As will be infinite. So as frequency is not infinite, so it will be not infinite, so our non-ideal case, that is As will be not equal to infinite. So we have this equation when we have 1 by As is changed by 1 by As has been changed by S by omega t. So we have put the value of As here. Again solving this equation we will get a second order equation S square plus 1 plus k upon omega t into the terms of S, that is 1 plus P1 plus k into Z1 upon omega t plus P1. Reminding again, Z1 are the zeros, P1 are the poles of the bilinear transfer function. Omega t is the non singular pole op-amps model frequency. S is the S plane, and minus shows that we are using non-inverting op-amp configuration. So, after again solving this equation, we will get S plus Z1 plus this whole equation. This equation we can assume that this is a second order equation. So, it will have two solutions, and it can be written as S plus solution plus S plus some another solution. Let us suppose that is P plus delta P1 and Pp. Now, this Pp is the parasitic pole, the extra pole that we need. Then this delta P is the shift in the actual poles. So, rather than getting a pole that is in the ideal case, P1 will be shifted by delta P due to non-ideal characteristics of op-amp. Also, the some another pole, parasitic pole, come into picture with the non-ideal op-amp. This comes only when As is not equal to infinite. Second observation with this condition, that As is not equal to infinite, is that we have a second order filter. Previously, we have one pole and one zero. Now, we have different number of poles. This is a second order equation. So, our op-amp, non-ideal op-amp, makes our filter in different order. So, we have this equation. Now, let us suppose we are going with the second order filters. So, what are the different design parameters of the second order filter? Now, we have moved to the second order filter. Actually, we were designing first order filter, but it has been designed automatically the second order filter. So, when we are designing a second order filter, we have two parameters that are known as Q and omega naught for the second order filters. For this equation, let us suppose we have a RLC circuit, which is a passive circuit. Then we can draw it like this one. Let us suppose there are Z1 and Z2 given by RL as Z1 and R2 as C as Z2. Now, if we see practically for the low frequencies, for DC values, this will be closed circuit, open circuit. So, low frequencies will be passed out, whereas for the higher frequency, this will be closed, C will be closed. So, it will be passing through the C2. The signal V1 will be passing through the C2. So, this will be acting as a low pass filter. Now, let us analyze this one and find out the various parameters, the parameters that we have we have Q and omega naught. So, for this equation, by voltage divider rule for Z1 and Z2, we can say that VL is equal to Z2 upon Z1 plus Z2. The output is VL, one side is VL and other side is V1. So, VL by V1 will be Z1 by Z2. Now, if we put the value of Z1 and Z2 over here, Z2 is the capacitance, that is 1 by Cs in terms of S plane, in S plane, and this is in series. So, it will be R plus L will be Ls, in inductor will be its impedance in S plane will be Ls, plus Z2 is 1 plus Cs. So, we get the transfer function of this equation in this form, 1 upon Cs by Ls plus R plus 1 upon Cs. So, V1 upon V2 that is given by this equation will be the transfer function of the filter. Now, remember our conditions. First thing is we want S term should have the first as a unity coefficient. So, we will divide the whole things with L. We have divided this S to the whole and we have divided L with the all. So, see, S will be cancelled out and it will be S square. So, S square RL by S into plus 1 upon LC, 1 upon LC by all things. Again, if we take further drive it with the condition that we have R is equal to 0. That means our filter is lossless, but let us suppose L is not lossless. So, if we have lossless, then R will be equal to 0. If we find out what are the poles, then the poles will be given by this whole term equal to 0, where this will be cancelled out due to R as is equal to 0. So, we have S square plus 1 upon LC is equal to 0. So, from S square plus 1 upon LC plus 0, we have again second order equation. So, a quadratic equation whose roots will be given by S plus 1 upon J plus minus J 1 upon LC. Let us suppose this LC is a term given by omega square. Now, this equation, this L and C is dependent upon the frequency. So, both terms give a root, a pole which is dependent upon the frequency. Let us suppose this term is omega naught, because the poles are dependent upon these two equations. So, we are taking, let us suppose this is as a first equation. Second, we have another term given by QL is equal to W naught L upon R loss, where R loss is the losses of the inductor, losses introduced by the inductor. Now, if we solve this one, if we put the value of omega here, remember omega is 1 upon LC, under root 1 upon LC. So, if we put the value of omega over here, it will be 1 upon R under root LC. Further, if we take the ratio of R by L over here, it will be Q naught by QL. Omega naught we have defined, QL is the again another parameter which is dependent upon the L and omega naught. It is known as the quality factor due to L. So, this is, let us suppose, second equation. Now, we have transfer function that was given by 1 upon LC S square R by L S is equal to 1 upon LC. So, we have this equation. When we put the value of omega naught and Q naught, from 1 we have put the value of omega naught as omega square is equal to LC 1 by LC, or omega is equal to 1 under root LC. So, and second equation which is given by R by L is equal to omega naught by QL. So, we can put the value of 1 upon LC here, that will be omega naught, this one will be omega naught square, this will be omega naught square, and this equation will be omega naught by QL. So, this equation can be given by omega square S square plus omega naught by Q S plus omega naught square. Now, again we are interested to find the poles of this equation. If we assume that the two poles are alpha plus j beta and alpha minus j beta. That means there are two conjugate poles of this equation. Then we have, if we solve this equation, we will get s square plus 2 alpha s plus alpha square plus beta square, and we have this whole term which is giving the poles. So, we can say that this equation will be equal to the poles of the transfer function given by this equation. That means s square plus omega naught q s by omega naught square will be the poles. So, these two equations can give us alpha and beta. So, if we equate these things, we can say that the terms of s are omega naught q by s, or we can say that the alpha 2 alpha will be omega naught by q. So, alpha will be omega naught by 2 q. Similarly, we can say that alpha square plus beta square are omega, and so omega alpha square plus beta square will be equal to the without coefficients of s0. That means alpha square plus beta square. So, this is the second equation. From this equation, we have also driven that q quality factor is equal to omega naught upon 2 alpha, and we can calculate the b from these equations. If we put the value of alpha from here, and we can find out the value of b, that b will be equal to under root 1 minus 1 upon 4 q square into omega naught. That we can easily find out if we put the value of omega from here, alpha from here to this one. So, these are the three parameters alpha, beta, which defines two parameters which define q and omega naught. If we know these values, we can find out q, omega naught and the q. So, we have seen that omega is equal to alpha square plus beta square. This is the equation of a circle. If we want to draw it on imaginary axis, because all things are in s plane. So, if we draw it in j omega and phi equation sigma plane, then this equation omega naught will give a pole which will be defined by the alpha and beta values. The poles will be alpha and the beta values, where this green is the, let us suppose, a pole. The equation, this pole's location of this pole will be a circular path. Let us suppose for a particular alpha and a particular beta, we have this pole marked by green color, where alpha and beta are given by these equations we have driven in the previous slide. Also, as omega naught is equal to alpha square plus beta square, so omega naught will be the radius of this circle, locus, right. So, omega naught will be the distance from origin to the pole. We can define another angle to show this omega naught, value of the pole. This, if we find out this angle, that can be given by cos of alpha by omega naught square, cos inverse alpha by omega naught. Or if we calculate from here, if we find out from here, alpha by omega naught is equal to 1 by 2 q. That means this value, the psi angle will change with the change in angle. So, for the different angles we will have the different angles of the case. Again, let us suppose we have the equation of omega naught. If we draw it on j omega lines, we have seen that it will be a circle. So, for different values of omega naught, it will show the different angles. And as omega naught is the radius, so when we will increase the radius, there will be different locus of our poles, and we are interested in only right hand side of the poles, left hand side of the poles, because we want stability, realization of the actual filters. We are ignoring the right side of the this whole plane, S plane. Similarly, if we calculate with the q given by this equation, for a particular q, for a particular alpha with a particular omega naught, we have seen that it will be a line given by angle psi. Psi will be equal to cos inverse alpha by omega naught, or 1 by 2q. So, if we again draw it on S plane, it will give the angle with the angle psi. Let us suppose this is psi 1. With the change in the q, with lowering down the q, psi angle will increase. So, it will give again line with psi 2. Now, here see that we have cos inverse. So, we have two values, two sides of the value of the q, one on the upper plane and other is on the other half side. Right. So, as q1 is smaller, so it has a lower angle. So, with this one we have different, if we calculate the different angles, the q value, if it comes to be 0.707, that is under root 2, then it is 45 degree. If it is 1, q is 1, then it is 60 degree, and so on, and it is approximately 90 degree at q value of 100. That means, if you see the general value of q is more than 1, or we can say that the angle psi is lies between 60 degree to 90 degree, or we can say that most of the time we are interested in this field only. Most of the time the q will be more than 1. For more than 1 q, it is more than 60 degree, and after 90 degree it is not required, because it gives the unstable circuit. So, we are interested in this shaded portion only. So, next one is the realization of the filters, second order filters. How we can realize these active filters in the second order. For that one, let us suppose again that equation of a transfer function given by omega naught upon s square plus omega naught by q s plus omega naught square. Let us suppose we have some active filters, so it has its own gains. Let us suppose that is given by plus minus h. Plus minus h depends upon the configuration we are using. It may be inverting for minus and non-inverting corresponding to the plus. So, this equation can be given by after some solving of this equation, we will get 1 upon h upon s upon omega naught plus q upon s omega naught plus 1. Let us suppose we normalized our s domain. Normalized s domain means dividing s by omega naught, we are shifting our plane to s from s to Sn, where Sn is s plus omega naught. So, we can replace this whole term by Sn. So, we can write plus minus h upon Sn square plus q 1 upon q Sn plus 1. This is just for our simplicity. Further to simplify here, we assume that omega naught is equal to 1. That means we can revert back Sn by Sn to S. Sn was equal to S by omega naught. So, when it will be 1, Sn will be equal to S. So, we can write V2 by V1 is equal to plus minus H S square 1 by Q S plus 1. Again we have started with the non-inverting op-amp. So, for non-inverting configuration we are using only negative sign. So, with the negative sign, if we see the transfer function is VL by V1, the negative sign H. If we manipulate this signal, this equation, we can move this one to this side and this one to this side. It gives minus of H V1 is equal to VL into this whole term S square 1 upon QS plus 1. Further, if manipulate some on this equation, this gives S into S plus 1 upon Q VL is equal to minus of H V1 plus VL. Right. Now, again further manipulating it, it gives 1 S VL is equal to minus of 1 upon S plus 1 upon Q H V1 into VL. This S VL, let us suppose, is VB. Now, see what is why we are writing BV. This equation, this whole equation, in multiplying with BB with 1 by S, or we can write this equation as this equation. This whole equation I have written that VL is equal to 1 by S VB, and we have written that this is a VB. Now, VB is the point where we are getting the output. The output is VB, sorry VL, and when we are getting 1 by S, we are integrating that VL. So, by integrating we are getting some band of frequencies for which we are getting a range of frequencies for which we are getting the output. So, this will be a band voltage, band of voltage. So, if we are giving a low pass frequencies, low pass output, if we 1 by S will be giving the integration of that thing, will be giving the band pass filter. Further from here, we can write S plus 1 upon Q into VB is equal to minus of H V1 plus VL. Manipulating some from this equation again, further driving it, if you take VB on one side, it will be 1 upon S plus into H V1 plus VL 1 upon Q V2. Let us suppose that is 1 by Vs, 1 by minus V by S into VH, where we have the initial value plus the VL value V1. So, that whole things will shift the initial value to low values, and it will give VB to some another value, high values. That is why it is known as the VH. Where now VH can be given by this whole equation, that is H V1 plus VL plus 1 by Q VB. So, we have VB is equal to SVL and VH is equal to SVB. If we want to realize that filter, it will be the whole equation. Now, remember from this equation we have VH is equal to HV1. So, if we want to get here, we will get HV1. Then we will get the VL. The VL is VB by 1s. So, this is VB upon 1 upon Vs. Right. So, 1 by S will be giving the 1 by S VB will give the H. So, again we multiply it 1 by S, that will give the VH. So, here we will get the VH. So, thank you. Here we have discussed the active realization of the filters, we have discussed the second order filters, we have discussed the design parameters Q and omega naught. We have seen the second order filter, how we can implement that second order filter. Thank you.